Ice Cube never was, never is, and never will be the gangster that he portrays to the public. The Ice Cube persona did exactly what it was created to do, and that's pollute and destroy, slowly, the minds of bottom feeders and give them a thug for them to look up to and bounce all their aggression and shenanigans off of. I keep telling people, all rappers are actors, and all actors could be rappers if the industry wanted them to be. Y'all gonna learn today that Hollywood and the CIA created people like 50 Cent, Tupac, Ice-T, and Ice Cube, for example. They gave them all struggle backgrounds and upbringings, making it seem as if they came through the grit and grind of life to get where they are. For example, Bow Wow just recently came back out trying to reinvent himself by rapping gangster, but the public didn't receive him because his character was built off being the little rich spoiled kid who was brought up under Jermaine Dupri. Another example, if Will Smith came out rapping gangster, it would get flushed down the toilet immediately because we all know him for the Bel Air living, right? West Villanova, born and raised, you know. See, the industry knows a thing or two about marketing. Ice Cube is the product on the shelf, aka the character that needs a believable foundation that can carry him throughout the rest of his artificial life. While people were getting killed on the streets of Compton, teenagers going to jail every day, the blood and Crip war at its highest, Cube was out here eating filet mignon on the jet with the CIA. While on the streets behind his music, prison sentences were being handed down and the bodies were piling up. To this day, Ice Cube has 0 jail convictions, 0 traffic citations, 0 times he's cut through a wet paper bag with a razor. Hollywood can't be serious, y'all. They gave us a 5'8" gun-toting thug to believe in. And they even more funny because first they give us the Ice-T, then later they give us the Ice Cubes to go with the Ice-T. Man, these people funny, man. Ice Cube is no more real than Hulk Hogan, Iron Man, or The Simpsons, y'all. You really gotta understand this. Hollywood, aka Satan's playground, is really a tight-knit family for the Luciferians. And instead of bringing new people in every time to get jobs done, they just take an already broken puppet and turn him or her multi-dimensional. For example, T.I. went from a gangster with a house full of army artillery to an eloquently speaking accent. They want us to think that T.I. just woke up one day and started talking like this.
So exasperated with my philandering, then we just need to go on ahead and de-domicile this domestic juncture. But otherwise, you must respect the fact that we are amalgamated in matrimony. For you to be engaged in sexual acts with my sworn enemy, one whom I have physically encountered in the past over you, it's not advantageous to this marriage, shawty.
The eloquent and clean record T.I. is the one that he's been the entire time. The other events were pure acting and the bottom feeders bought it for face value. You see how much power media and false perception has over you if you allow it? All these characters have also been experiments on mankind to see how much we will trust what our eyes see only. Satan tells you to look, God tells you to walk not by sight. 2 different orders. Snoop Dogg went from a gangster doing drive-bys on the block to baking with Martha Stewart, y'all. You know I can't make this up. These puppets will die miserable if they don't turn their life to Christ, because their entire life, they don't know how it feels to even be themselves. Their entire life, they are in character acting mode, waiting on the phone call so they can run off to be the little old slaves to the industry that they are.
A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Chris Brown went from singing to so-called called beating on Rihanna, which was false because that was part of his humiliation ritual to move up the pyramid. Then he goes on to acting. Ice-T went from a so-called ruthless street goon to playing the role of a cop. Y'all don't see what they doing, man? Hollywood is a business. For example, why would Walmart hire another worker when the one worker that they already got can complete both of the tasks himself? Same thing in Hollywood, y'all. Ice Cube has always been an actor. He just simply took his acting skills on the road. Took it on the road. And now he's the so-called voice for the police injustice. Now before I commence into chopping this fable, I want to say this from my heart. I am embarrassed at myself for growing up and believing for 1 second a word that came out of these actors' mouth. But then I grew older and realized that Hollywood and its clown show stretches further than just the cinema and theater. When I say the industry is controlled, y'all, and they have actual gatekeepers who monitor who comes in and who goes out, this stuff is real, y'all. What are gatekeepers? Well, gatekeepers in the industry are people put in place at certain points of elevation that have the okay or the say so to let you come through the cracks or to tell you to go back to being a bottom feeder. Now, there are different gatekeepers on different levels. For example, the cast of American Idol and The Voice, they're gatekeepers. They have been trusted to weed out and pick through those thirsting to be in the industry. If they say no, then you return back to your bland life, to live as a regular or bottom feeder. If they say yes, then they take the Baphomet oath to you, and you receive that oath just to proceed to what you think is a better life. Why you all think you haven't seen too much of Queen Latifah lately? Because she was graduated to gatekeeper. She breaks a lot of the women in who come through the door. And they like breaking in the ones who aren't of the original satanic bloodline. They call them fresh meat. And they love seeing them being stripped of their morals, values, and principles for fame, just to be worshipped. Now, after I strip the veil from Ice Cube and show you who he really is, if you continue to vouch for him after that, then that will be the misdirection you will have to deal with within yourself. Ice Cube was a privileged kid who rapped about a lifestyle he knew nothing about. This can be proven from testimonies of real gangsters who were actually in the streets around the time he was rapping about it. Now, if no one who was in the streets can vouch for him, why do bottom feeders who have never met this man still vouch that he was in the streets and lived a gangster life? The first group that Ice Cube made was called CIA, which he said stood for Crew in Action. But we all know it means Central Intelligence Agency, right? Out of all the abbreviations, y'all so-called super gangster chose to call his first group CIA? A group that included KD, Sir Jinx, and Ice Cube, aka O'Shea Johnson. Y'all ain't seen how many times Ice Cube played the role of a police officer in a movie? Now, isn't that a slap in the face? A man whose entire identity is built off of him warring with the cops. He gets snuggled up in Hollywood and can't stop playing the role of a cop. Everyone who looks up to this fraud should be disgusted.